Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Chris Martinez from Dynamic Duo Training.
And this is Eric Martinez from Dynamic Duo Training.
And we are here live at the 2011 Mr. Olympia. And we have a very special guest and an interview for you guys today. We have Dr. Layne Norton right here. And for those of you that don't know who Dr. Layne Norton is, he's a natural pro bodybuilder. He owns his PhD in nutritional sciences. He's a writer and columnist. And he owns BioLane LLC, and he's a physique coach. He's also a huge contributor to the natural bodybuilding community. And in our opinion, when it's all said and done, he's going to leave a huge legacy.
And before we get started with the interview, we just kind of want to say why we decided to interview Layne. And first and foremost, he's such an inspiration to Chris and I. And he's been coaching us the last 2 years, and we've been gaining a lot of knowledge from him. And we're just really on board with what he preaches about nutrition and training. And we just wanted to apply that to our clients and just educate them as best as possible. So with that said, we're going to put Layne on the hot seat.
Okay, so Layne, how do you balance training, traveling, business, being a husband, and everything else in life?
Yeah, I always joke and I say that if I don't have something to do, I know something's probably wrong. So if at the rare occasion I find myself bored, I enjoy it. But usually if I find myself bored, I'm like, nah, we should be doing something. But in all honesty, it sounds like a lot of work, and it is, but when you love something, when you're passionate about something, it makes it a lot easier, to put everything you have into it. And so everything's tied up together with us. I mean, being a husband to her, she's in the fitness industry, she loves competing, she loves diet, training, so it makes it easier, it's not like we're constantly arguing, I don't want to go to Olympia, that's stupid, we're both like really excited to go. So, it helps to have those sorts of things and be able to treat together with those. The articles, the coaching, all that stuff is stuff I'm passionate about. I like it, I have fun with it. I mean, sometimes it's tough, I'm not going to lie, but for the most part, I enjoy getting up in the morning, doing the things that constitute work for me every day. So, the biggest advice I can give to people out there is make sure you're passionate about what you do. If you're passionate about your job, you never work a day in your life. You know what I mean? And I believe that's the God's honest truth. So I know that's not so much a training adjustment, but I think most people who do training do it because they love it. And if you don't love it, if you're only worried about getting a better body, you need to learn how to love it. Learn how to construct your training to where you do love it. Because you'll work harder at it, you'll be better at it.
That makes total sense. So, can you explain to us what outwork means and where did it come from?
So, growing up and getting into bodybuilding and fitness, I had a lot of people tell me I couldn't do things, I didn't have the genetics, I didn't have the structure, this and that. And I just always kind of looked at it, I was like, you know what? I'm okay with not winning every time as long as I give it everything I have. And that applies to school, bodybuilding, powerlifting, whatever, It was just about, I just want to make sure I leave it all on the table. And so in one video interview, somebody said kind of about my mentality. I said, my mentality is, when I go in the gym every time, if somebody's going to beat me, it's not because they work hard with me, it's not because they outwork me. And people picked up on that, and they kind of, people just started shortening it just to outwork, And I tell people, find that and let it empower you and take it over to other aspects of your life. Be a better student, better father, better brother, better husband, all those sorts of things. Because it's not, some people take it the wrong way. They say that nobody works hard for me, and that's not what I was saying at all. The goal is that everybody works hard for me. I'm not arrogant enough to think that I know what everybody else is doing. That's my goal. I want to leave it all on the table and see what I got.
Okay, absolutely. So what are your 5 values that you stand by in life and why?
I probably can shorten it down because I think there's just a few that are really important. And I think number 1 is integrity, character, loyalty, and respect. So I guess that's 4. Integrity, character, loyalty, and respect. And they're all tied in together. You can't separate them. Because I tell people, I'm like, look, so many people get caught up in chasing dollars and chasing fame and chasing all these different things, all these artifacts of success. You should chase achievements. You should chase being a good person. Because if you do that, money is something that just comes along with that. You know what I mean? If you're the best at what you do, you're going to get paid regardless. There's going to be somebody that's going to pay you for that. But if you go out and chase money, you're going to be willing to make sacrifices in terms of your integrity, your character. They're going to come back to haunt you. I always think about decisions I make in terms of, not can I live with it now? Can I live with it in 2 years? Can I live with it in 5 years? Can I live with it in 10 years? And I always try to plan and do things deliberately that way. Live life with a purpose. Don't let life happen to you. You happen to life.
So, what motivates you every day? What gives you that drive?
It's just pushing myself, man. It's just like, it's like you only get one life. And like even when I met Isabel, when we were talking the first night on Instant Messenger, we were talking no online. I was telling her, she's like, well, what do you value in life? And I was like, I think so many people just kind of float through life and they're just vapor. They come and they go. Nobody remembers. They don't make an impact. Nobody lives forever. The only way you live forever is if you leave a legacy. You know what I mean? If you leave something behind. So I live every day kind of with that purpose that, when I'm gone, I want people to look back and say, whatever it was, that somehow I made the world better by what I did, or I made some people's lives better. I always said, if I could just inspire one person to go out and do something, maybe it was worth it for me. I liked the company Tap Out, the owner of that, who's passed away now. His name is Charles Lewis. And I remember he said one time, he was talking to a fighter league sponsor, and he said, maybe I'll never be that Nike or that, that person who goes out and they touch 1 million people's lives. But maybe I touch that one person that goes out and changes 1 million people's lives. And that's how he looked at it, just paying it forward. It's a network, it's a web. If you start the movement, you pass it on to 2 people, they give it to 2 other people, 4, 8, 16, it carries over. So I always try to think about it.
And to finish things up, what is the best advice you can give our viewers, our fans, especially in training?
I was talking with Skip McClure earlier about this. For those of you that don't know, Skip McClure is a little past your prime, one of the greatest natural bodybuilders of all time. And Skip, we got talking and we said, in these interviews, a lot of people want us to, give them, okay, eat this much protein, eat this much carbs, eat this much fat. And, really what happens is, you can do a lot of things the wrong way, but can you start this question over? Ma'am?
Yeah.
You want us to start the question over again?
If you want to.
Yeah, so I just said, what is the best advice you give our viewers, our fans about nutrition and training?
These interviews, a lot of people come out and they expect me to say, eat this much protein, train this way, do that. Really I have a lot of articles and videos out there that can do that. But really what it boils down to is, I would say, you just gotta go out and do it. I would recommend people read my articles, look at my videos, but consistency. That's it, man. Consistency over time. You can do so many things wrong, but if you're just consistent and work hard over time, you get great results. A lot of people get paralysis by analysis. They feel like they have to have a perfect plan or not even going into workout or diet. And the reality is, the worst laid plan executed today is better than the best laid plan executed too late. You know what I mean? Just get in there and get to work and, read up, educate yourself, those sorts of things. Be willing to question, or if you can have a coach or these two question me all the time, that's fine. Because if your coach can't give you a reason why you do something, that's not acceptable. They should at least be able to say, well, you know what, I can't give you a concrete reason, but I just feel this, and that's fine as long as you're honest, you know what I mean? But always be willing to question, always be educating yourself, always be willing to learn, and always have an open mind. Because a lot of people get so set in their ways of training that they never want to try anything else. And, really, if you're that way, maybe you try something out for 4 or 6 weeks and it doesn't work. 4 or 6 weeks out of training out of a lifetime is hardly anything. But if you find something that works, it's like you stumble over gold and you can take that and go there, I never would have gotten to the point I am without being willing to try things that are outside my comfort zone, So I guess that's the biggest advice I can give you guys. Always be learning, always be a student.
Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you see why we are such huge advocates on what we preach and why we have such high praise on Layne Norton. So with that being said, Layne Norton is officially off the hot seat. We want to thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure meeting you and your wife. So that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen, at the 2011 Mr. Olympia. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.